British Virgin Islands. I am Environmental Health Officer Tiana Fraser. This is how my job relates to water. We conduct water samples and chlorine residual testing at the private homes, schools and institutions, food establishment and other areas to ensure that the chlorine level is 0.2 to 1.5 as outlined by the WHO. We use a simple chlorine test kit, and luckily we have a positive sample today, so we know our water is fine. The British Virgin Islands uses desalination for drinking water as well as rainwater, God's gift, for drinking purposes. That's how my job relates to water. I have a water job.
Bonjour, je suis Harry Gotal, animateur eau environnement à l'Office de l'eau Martinique. Le lien de mon métier avec l'eau, c'est que je me rends dans les établissements scolaires et les événements grand public pour mettre en place des animations sur la gestion et la protection de l'eau. Pour y arriver, j'utilise des outils pédagogiques numériques et manuels. J'interviens aussi dans la mise en place d'un projet pédagogique sur l'eau qui a pour objectif de regrouper et adapter les outils à nos spécificités tropicales. Je travaille dans l'eau, I have a water job.
I believe in building a climate-resilient Trinidad and Tobago. I develop projects that promote rainwater harvesting technologies. I have a water job.
There's an old saying that water is life, and water is life indeed. It is an essential element in our bodies and in the environment. I feel very privileged to be in the business of water, to be dealing with the treatment, the transmission, and the equitable distribution of water, not to mention the conservation of our existing water supply for our generation and future generation. I have a water job.
I work with geographic information systems for the water resources planning and management. When I produce these maps, I am able to locate fresh sources of water. I am able to assist with the monitoring networks for water resources as well as for field investigations for watershed planning. I have a water job.
The team and I use state-of-the-art technology to monitor water quality and water quantity. Here at El Carmen, we measure water quality parameters such as pH, ORP, dissolved oxygen, as well as water levels and water velocity. This monitoring is crucial for the proper management of water resources in Trinidad and Tobago.
We have water jobs.
I'm Patricia Shako, Regional Coordinator of the Global Water Partnership Caribbean, an international NGO that promotes integrated water resources management. I work in sustainable development to ensure that water resources used by this generation leave enough behind for generations to come. I have a water job.
Groundwater is water that is stored below the ground in cracks and fissures, soils, gravels, and water-bearing rocks, which we call aquifers. We monitor this non-renewable resource on a monthly basis to ensure the sustainable usage, as this water is also used for the water supply of the country. We monitor this through boreholes in the ground, called wells, and we just have to make sure and monitor this on a monthly basis because it's an integral role in this water supply of the entire country.
We have a water job.
Watershed assessment is one of my major jobs. Watershed assessments are one of the critical activities in the water resources management function. It entails the examination of the biological, physical, and socio-economic characteristics of an area to determine the health of the watershed. This information is used for watershed protection, restoration, and rehabilitation initiatives. I have a water job and I love it.
I'm head of an agency that manages the water resources of a small island developing state. With growth in population, there's deforestation of our watersheds for built development and agriculture. When you combine the landscape changes with climate change and rising sea levels, trying to protect and conserve and develop the water resources of the country in a sustainable manner becomes a difficult task. One of my primary functions is to participate in technical committees and high-level working groups. I have a water job and I love it.
I I help to generate and communicate knowledge on better water resources management. Here's a visual of what I do. This is the water box of water professionals, persons in the water sector, all working with each other and talking amongst themselves. But this is what I work to do. I need to help all of these stakeholders interact with each other. I need to engage them so that we all work towards the common goal of a water secure world. I have a water job.
I work with businesses and community groups to get them to work together to adopt rivers and implement projects to help improve the water resources of Trinidad and Tobago and prevent pollution like what we see here. I have a water job.
River volumes are measured by determining the speed of the river as well as the dimensions of the river channel. These variables help to determine stream flow, which is actually the volume of water through a river over a unit of time. Stream flow information is very important in water planning. This data can help civil engineers with the designs of bridges and drains, flood forecasting, or even determining how much water is able to be harnessed from a river system, and even climate change studies.
We have a water job.
I'm the water engineer at the Water Corporation of Angola. I oversee distribution and transmission, as well as making sure that production meets quality standards. I have a water job.
Okay, Port of Spain to Suriname on Suriname Airways. Okay, that's fine. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Hi, my name is Karen Martinez and I'm a stockbroker. No, just kidding. I'm a program assistant and my job is basically to provide vital assistance in the areas of finance, logistics, and reporting. Now, I could be compared to, let's say, programs running on your computer, background programs, things you don't always see, but it's very important to the final output, what you can see. Now, when an event is executed, whether it's a workshop or a meeting with stakeholders at high level or grassroots level, my job is to ensure that things are booked for, paid, and everything runs smoothly. So yes, I have a water job.
I believe in actively contributing to integrated water resources management. At Nehurst, we promote public awareness and public engagement to tackle our water challenges and encourage conservation. I have a water job.
My name is Joseph Brooks. I am Finance Officer at the Water Corporation of Anguilla. I have a water job.
The Caribbean is already facing the impacts of climate change and climate variability on our water resources. Too many countries are facing a very vicious cycle of drought followed by intense storms and floods. How do we manage these climate extremes? How do we make sure we have adequate supplies of good quality water for both human and ecosystem needs? That's actually my job. I manage the Caribbean Water, Climate and Development Program, where all of my activities are focused on building climate resilience into the Caribbean's water sector. My name is Natalie Goodram and I have a water job.
Hi, I'm the Manager of Water Resources and I'm responsible for the Hydrological network of Trinidad and Tobago. This entails monitoring most, if not all, the parameters within the water cycle. For example, rainfall, we monitor the rainfall, we monitor water quality in our rivers, we also monitor discharge measurements. Some of these parameters are used by decision makers, for example, the Ministry of Works and Transport, who use our data to design bridge, culvert, etc. It is also used by the meteorological services to determine weather patterns and, for example, the dry outlook of Trinidad and Tobago. I have a water job.
I'm part of a team that is responsible for managing the water resources of Trinidad and Tobago, and that is the Water Resources Agency of the Water and Sewerage Authority. We are responsible for the overall management of Trinidad and Tobago's water resources, which comprise surface water and groundwater. We manage these water resources for the purposes of domestic water use, that's drinking water purposes, agricultural users of water, industrial users of water. And in this area, in order to manage the quantity and quality of water, we have to also manage the land itself. And we refer to that collectively as integrated water resources management, where we manage various uses on the watershed so that we could get the type of quantity and quality of water that we would like to have for users. I have a water job.
I'm administration. We administer the day-to-day functions of the Water Resources Agency with the aim of enhancing its performance. These relate to water resources management, general financing, planning and purchasing of the equipment and services of the organization, and ensuring the health and safety of its staff members. The work of the administration department enhances the performance and efficiency of the organization. I'm the Water Resource Administrator and I have a water job.
Hi, my name is Karen Banfield and I'm the Marketing Officer at Nehurst in Trinidad and Tobago. Nehurst has been the host institution for Global Water Partnership Caribbean since its inception in 2004. Recognizing the link between science and technology and water security, we take every opportunity to collaborate and share knowledge. I have a water job.
Reservoirs are used to store water for future use. We project the amount of water stored in reservoirs using forecasted rainfall and evaporation rates. From these projections, we can recommend sustainable production rates to ensure water security for the population, especially during the drier months. I have a water job.
I am responsible for surface water planning within the Water Resources Agency. In this section, we conduct activities such as identifying new sources. We archive and measure, monitor, analyze all surface water and stream flow data at springs, rivers, and impounding reservoirs. I have a water job.
I work at the Water Resources Agency of Trinidad and Tobago. My duties are to go on the field, collect hydrological data from devices out on the field such as rain gauges, stream gauges, groundwater wells, and evaporation site. This data is brought into the office, processed and formatted, and is now used by the authority to inform us on certain parameters. For example, rainfall data, daily and annual data, monthly data, stream gauging data in terms of discharges, groundwater elevations, and estimated pre-surface water evaporation. Now this data can be further used by the authority, and it is for things like monitoring of the reservoirs, by engineers in the estimation of bridges and dams, intakes, and also to use for soil moisture by agronomists. I have a water job.
The agency receives requests on a daily basis from numerous internal and external stakeholders of the nation's water resources. Data and information with respect to rainfall, groundwater, and surface water sources, as well as water supply and demand, is gathered, compiled, analyzed, and then disseminated to a diverse pool of clients for use in climate change studies, as well as civil engineering exercises. The information that we gather on a daily and monthly basis is also utilized to inform our nation's policymakers, as well as the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management and the Met Services in the issuance of drought and or flood bulletins. I am proud to say that I have a water job.
What we do here, to put it in a nutshell, we collect and analyze hydrological data. Flood management entails the flood mapping, flood monitoring, and early warning system. The early warning system involves the input of hydrological coupled with meteorological data, tidal information. These are inputted into a rainfall runoff model where the estimate of the areal extent and the time for the peak flood to occur. This information will help forewarn residents so that they mitigate against the impact of the flooding. I have a water job.
Our department's direct responsibility is for the regulation and licensing of water resources of Trinidad and Tobago. It is important that as a nation, our water resources are properly regulated and monitored daily and on an annual basis. Our body within the Water Resources Agency is responsible for making sure that the persons who abstract water from the system are properly licensed and that they pay for the source of water the abstraction of water that they use. I have a water jug.
I assess the quantity and quality of groundwater resources throughout Trinidad and Tobago, utilizing hydrogeological data such as aquifer type, size, rainfall data, quantity of water in the rivers, evaporation and groundwater recharge areas. I also look at trends in observation, water levels, and abstraction from production wells. My recommendations promote sustainable development of groundwater resources, securing it and ensuring that the population has a reliable and potable water supply for now and for future generations. I have a water jug and I enjoy every minute of it.